Hello again. Thank you for joining me for another video. So I have been in a bit of a deep dive lesson, learning new layers to the whole spiritual journey. Sometimes they aren't so easily translated into ways that you can just tell other people what you're getting. So I've been in the middle of the overall theme has really been looking at the idea of shunning and how we make decisions about our spiritual beliefs. So I think I mentioned it before. My dad was atheist, as I was growing up, and eventually came to know God. I had a relationship with a man who was an atheist and really wanted nothing to do with anything spiritual at all. And it never really bothered me, I guess, so much what they thought, because there was still a connective common ground with them. And so I have been looking into, I guess, other religions and other belief systems. And I had already worked a lot of this stuff out in my head. Like I had come to an understanding of a pure state of consciousness that where everything is kind of contained within it. But then for me, trying to comprehend where the discord comes if they are rejecting. So like I might accept them, but they're still rejecting me. So how is there a peace there? Where does the peace come? I don't know if I'm making that really clear, but like, so for instance, I had a conversation or back and forth with a Buddhist monk who has a new channel. And I was curious about a couple things, and because this channel is brand new, I was able to write a couple questions and actually get a response. And, because a lot of what I have perceived and picked up, not being a Buddhist monk myself and only able to, what is put out to receive and consider, I'd heard before about the not believe, they don't believe in a creator, but I was not aware that they did not believe in a universal consciousness. And so to me, it's like, well, I don't understand what you are perceiving Buddhahood to be. And that was basically my question was, I thought it was an issue of semantics, but he said it is not an issue of semantics. And so I'm kind of at a loss a little bit to understand the line in the sand over, so a willful choice, so not an exploration of what could potentially be universal consciousness, but a line in the sand that says no, it is not that. Which is hard to fit into the grand scheme of things, because so much of what I've found where differences existed between cultural references to spirituality has largely been semantics, and like a perceiving of a universal something, and then how we interact with that universal something comes out in different ways. But to say that there isn't a universal something, like consciousness, seems, unless he was just simply mistaken, which, if you're representing yourself as a person who knows enough of it to speak on it in a public forum, probably shouldn't make a mistake like that. So I pretty much have to take him at his word for that, right? So it's really thrown a wrench, and that came along the same time that I've also been down a rabbit hole of watching Breaking Amish and the whole shunning culture and that aspect of things. And so trying to hold these two very diverse cultural interpretations of spirituality and my own in the middle of it, and it can really bring a sense of discord in a manner of speaking, and isolation and loneliness. I've struggled so much with feeling disconnected from other people. I've gotten really negative reactions to my spirituality in the past. I had a boyfriend that just really wanted nothing to do with anything spiritual at all. He thought basically anybody who went down that path was wasting their life, and so I had to take a really hard look at that. Is spirituality a waste of life? You will see many people express that opinion, and just an abject distaste and repulsion of people who embark on a spiritual path as a way of life. And it's just really, it's a deep ethical point of inquiry, of understanding our connectedness and where the breaks in that connectedness are. Is it just a matter of perception? And then does someone's perception then alter my connection to them? So if I believe that there is a creator, even if the capacity that I believe in a creator is a force that comes from nature, I mean, how could something be outside of everything? Like, you would still be connected to what you created, so there's always a connection. So it's kind of like semantics to me. I don't know how anyone could choose to see that it's not. And it's put me in a bit of a quandary, I guess, and like I'm like right in the middle of the lesson, so I had so much shunning myself that I'm like watching the Breaking Amish, and so I was shunned for being spiritual. I was shunned for not being spiritual enough. I was shunned for being poor AF, and premarital sex and all of the things. Like, you don't have to be full scale Amish to face the wrath of the church, in a manner of speaking, because so much of our communal relationships with each other are built on these like moral leanings. That's what a lot of the pushback, every youth that comes up pushes back against that a little bit and attempts to get a more clear expression of humanity and the freedom that a soul needs to fully grow. And we're all on farms being corralled into a certain way of existing, and then some lack in there. And so I get the I can completely understand the pushback of wanting to take a religious stance or a cultural stance that rejects any notion of higher power that is not directly experienced as a human being and by no other way. So I don't really have an easy way to wrap this video up, except for that I'm looking deeply into these things right now, and I would appreciate if you have any comment to add to it that is thoughtful and insightful, that adds to the discussion and my thought process in terms of how do we achieve some kind of harmony, or are we really stuck in competing with each other because there's a single thread that cannot be woven through, because some people will cut it if you try. There's a line, don't cross, don't put your imaginary weavy connection with me. Because I don't believe that way. And so it's like making a separate reality out of this one reality. And like, how would you ever get a signal loud enough that we all can perceive it at the same time? The sun is in the sky, and maybe the old-timey folks had it right to just worship the sun, because are you going to deny the existence of that? Anyways, before I go off on a tangent, let me stop there. I hope you are well, and I will continue on this lesson that I'm on and report back when I have more information. Take care.